Hello again, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of people in the news in North Texas. My guest today is Jayne Howell, chairman of the Denton County Republican Party, who is running for re-election in the March 2020 primary. Thanks for being here, Jayne.
Thank you.
Please begin by telling our viewers something about yourself, your background, education, occupation, etc.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting me here today. I grew up in Fort Worth, came to Denton to go to college and never left, and spent 30 years building dental practices, and then went into real estate 20 years ago. And my whole time in Denton, I've been very active in the community in numerous volunteer organizations, usually in some type of leadership role, and became a precinct chairman a few years ago, and then ran for county chair 2 years ago and won. And so that's basically what I do with my time right now.
So you're the GOP chair for the last 2 years.
Yes, sir.
How about telling us about your re-election kickoffs coming up this Thursday?
Yes, sir. I've been in office 1 year and a little over a week, and I'm already having to think about running again. I will be on the March primary ballot, very last race on the ballot, and having a kickoff event this Thursday. It's a restaurant in Unicorn Lake called The Dive, and it'll be 5:30 to 7, and just an opportunity to hopefully raise a little money and just kick off my campaign and get started.
Okay, so you currently don't have an opponent, right?
Correct.
Right, and there's the final registration date is somewhere, I think, around December, where somebody can sign up to run. Anybody who's running for any of the offices can have, I think, sometime in December. Mm-hmm. And by the way, in your case, whoever wins the primary, that's the winner, because there's no Democrat running, right?
Right. And then the winner will take office in June.
Right, okay. So, in your opinion, by the way, what leadership traits does it take to be chairman of a party like this? It's a big job.
Well, I think one of the main leadership traits is patience. Most importantly, I think as the county chairman, one of the main responsibilities is building the Republican Party, governing and working with the precinct chairs. Right now there's 179 precinct chair positions, and so one of my many responsibilities is recruiting, training, and working with the precinct chairs, running the March primary election, helping to organize the precinct chair conventions, the Senate district conventions. We do have a headquarters here in Denton on Country Club Road, and so I think another one of the qualifications that a county chair needs is some type of business building background, because I do have 2 staff members, and we are now open 40 hours a week, and so it's basically building a business, staying within budget, trying to keep all your precinct chairs engaged, trained, and involved, and it's actually a full-time job.
Yeah. Well, you get paid a lot of money for this stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you get paid, I think, what is it, zero?
Yes, zero.
Well, it's very important to have people who will do these, who will handle positions like this and do it without a salary. That's really amazing. And I know your largest fundraiser each year is the Lincoln Reagan dinner, right? It's held at one of the major hotels.
Yes, sir.
And that should be coming up in February of next year, probably?
Yes, we already reserved the embassy in Denton for February 15th, 2020, and looking forward to a wonderful event. It will be an election year, so we're hoping it'll be well attended.
Now, a lot of people don't know what functions are carried out by various people who are elected to office, like precinct chairs, for example. What does a precinct chair basically do?
Well, a precinct chair helps to identify voters. The precincts, the whole county, 45 cities, are divided up into precincts, so subdivisions, housing areas. No precinct is more than 5,000 residents, and so some are just a couple of hundred. But the precinct chairman's job is to identify Republicans, help to register voters, help to educate their residents in their precinct as to when elections are, who's running, those kinds of things. We do have monthly meetings called County Executive Committee meetings, and that is where the precinct chairmen come. And this last year our emphasis has been training, because that's our primary job, is to get out and identify
especially
voters.
now with the big election coming up.
Oh yes,
next
we're
year.
You know, in Denton County last November we lost 2 races to the Democrats, first time in 17 years. And we have been a strong red county for many years, but the last 2 or 3 years the blue movement has been creeping into our county, and we are at a point where we cannot wait till a few months before elections to be working. It's got to be a year-round endeavor.
So for those who may not know, they could be new in the area, for example, how does one register to vote?
You do have to register by filling out a card. I know in the last election there were people who thought they registered online, but you actually have to have a signature on a voter registration card. And the Republican Party at Denton, we will be in almost all of the community events over the next 6 months. We're working the Louisville gun shows every month, trying to register voters, making sure they're registered in their current residence. It really need to be registered in your current location.
Now, Denton County is currently going through a redistricting. The districts where the county commissioners, constables, what have you there, that happens every 10 years, I understand. And it's all done by population, because Denton County is growing so much, so some areas become more populated than others, so they have to do it over. So that'll be done sometime by the end of the year, you think?
I would assume so. I know the commissioners are working on redistricting the commissioners' precincts, which the voter precinct that you live in will not change. What would be changing are just the boundary lines of the commissioners' areas.
So it could affect where a person votes next year.
It could, yes, and of course, even if your precinct and your commissioner precinct doesn't change, your polling location may change. Because in the primary, the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, we have to secure our own secure the polling locations.
Right.
So if a business or school or wherever we had the polling location, we have to go to them again, ask for permission, and they either grant us permission to use their facility or not. So depending on if we can use the same facility again, will determine if you vote in the same place.
Right, and it's always a smart move for voters to check with the county, check with the, they can do a lot of things online, just check with for the Republican Party, and they can find out where they have to vote.
Yes, sir.
As chairman of the party, do you ever endorse candidates before the primary?
No, sir. In the primary, the county chairman should remain neutral on the Republican races, and all of the staff and volunteers that work at headquarters remain neutral.
Because they're all Republicans.
Absolutely.
And give them a chance. Is there anything you'd like to add before we close? Because
actually, one more thing, a very vital piece of information. In November, approximately 96,000 known Republicans did not vote in Denton County. Approximately 96,000 known Republicans did not vote in Denton County in November. That's significant. So we have to wake up our neighbors, help people know how important voting is.
Okay.
And
well, this helps to do that.
Yes,
getting the
absolutely.
information out, and we'll be doing a lot more of this as we get into the season. I want to thank you very much, Jayne, for being here.
Thank you.
Even though you don't have an opponent, you came over and you want to give information
Absolutely.
to the people of the district. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
you.
All right.
And thank you for watching.